Welcome, dear dreamer, to Sleepy Geologist. If you enjoy these calm journeys, remember to subscribe to the channel. Tonight, we begin in the quiet. In the immense, velvet dark. We begin not with a bang, not with a blaze, but with a deep and endless silence. Out there, in the spaces between the stars, it is very cold. Colder than any winter night you have ever known. It is a place of near nothingness. A single handful of this space holds more emptiness than all the beaches of Earth hold grains of sand. And yet, even here, there is a hint of something. A faint, cosmic dust. Tiny particles, finer than smoke. They drift, slowly, slowly. They are made of the leftovers of ancient stars, long since gone. They are the ingredients for everything new. These tiny particles do not know each other. They are alone, in the vast, dark room of the universe. But then, a gentle force begins to stir. It is the faintest pull. A whisper of gravity. Imagine it as a soft, magnetic longing. A single speck of dust feels a tug from another speck, far away. It is a call, almost too quiet to hear. They begin to move, towards each other. Slowly, so slowly. They are drawn together like sleepers drawn into the same dream. Over millions of years, more particles join. A gentle snowstorm in the void. They gather. They form a soft, swirling cloud. A cosmic nest, being feathered for something yet to come. This cloud begins to spin, a lazy, slow dance. A whirlpool of dust and gas. At its center, the dance becomes tighter. The pull becomes stronger. The particles crowd together, sharing their warmth. It is still dark. It is still cold. But something is changing. The center of this cloud grows dense and warm. The pressure builds from the gentle, endless weight of all that dust falling inward. It is a comfortable pressure. Like the deepest, heaviest blanket you can imagine. At the very heart of this gathering, atoms are squeezed. They are nudged closer than they have ever been. They bump and jostle in the warming dark. This is the very beginning. The first gathering of breath before a single note is sung. It is the moment before the match is struck. The darkness is not empty anymore. It is full of potential. It is waiting. It is an ember, not yet lit, in the profound void. And as this potential gathers, as this ancient recipe begins to stir, it writes a story in the dust. A story that, one day, will be written inside of you, too. For you are connected to this quiet, gathering dark in a way that is profound and beautiful. And soon, we will explore that connection together. Let your breath settle. Let your body grow heavy and warm. Now, bring your attention to your hand. Rest it gently on the blanket. Feel its familiar weight. Look at it in your mind's eye. The lines on your palm. The curve of your fingers. It seems so separate, so solid. A part of your own, small world. But that is only the surface of the story. A beautiful and deeper truth lies beneath. Your hand is not just made of skin and bone. It is made of stardust. Every single part of you is. The calcium in your bones. The iron in your blood that carries your breath. The carbon that forms the foundation of your very life. These are not just elements on a chart. They are ancient treasures. They are relics of a cosmic past. Long ago, before our sun was born, other stars lived. They were giants. They burned with a fierce and brilliant light. They spent their lives, in their vast cores, doing something miraculous. They were cosmic forges. They cooked simple atoms into complex ones. In their incredible heat and pressure, they fused tiny atoms together. They created new things. Carbon. Oxygen. Nitrogen. The very stuff of life. They did this for millions of years. Then, their fuel ran out. Their great lives ended, not with a whisper, but with a magnificent roar. A supernova. This was a glorious, violent end. It was a cosmic scattering. The star flung its newly created elements out into the void. It seeded the darkness with the ingredients for everything to come. It gave its stardust back to the universe. That stardust drifted. For eons, it floated in the great, dark clouds of space. It became part of the same nebula that would one day collapse. The same cloud that would one day form our sun, and our Earth, and everything on it. So, the iron in your blood? It was forged in the heart of a dying star, billions of years ago. It was part of that great, final explosion. It journeyed across the galaxy. And now, it courses through you. It helps you live and breathe. The oxygen you just took into your lungs? It, too, is a gift from an ancient sun. Every breath you take is an exchange with the cosmos. You are breathing stardust. You are not a passive observer of the universe. You are its living, breathing product. You are a gathering place for these ancient stories. When you look up at the night sky, you are not looking at something separate from yourself. You are looking back at your oldest homeland. You are seeing the factories that created the pieces of you. The stars are not distant, cold points of light. They are family. They are the ancestors of your atoms. You are a collection of ancient suns. A temporary, beautiful gathering of cosmic material. You are the universe, thinking about itself. Feeling itself. Remembering its own fiery origins. You carry a universe within you. And as you rest here, a collection of reborn stardust, you can feel a connection. A thread of light, stretching back through time. You are made of the remnants of great fires. And that same, primal fire is what we now quietly seek to understand. Think of water. In your mind, see a single, perfect ice cube. Solid, firm, and definite. You can hold it. It has a shape all its own. Now, imagine it warming. It begins to soften, to yield. It becomes water. Liquid. It takes the shape of its container. It flows. It adapts. Apply more warmth. A gentle heat. The water becomes something else. It becomes vapor. A gas. It expands. It floats, invisible, into the air around it. These are the three states we know. The three familiar ways that matter exists. Solid, liquid, gas. They are the story of water. They are the story of our world. But the universe, it seems, has a favorite. A fourth state of being. One that is far more common, though less familiar to our touch. To find it, we must apply not just warmth, but true fire. An immense and passionate energy. Imagine taking that water vapor, that gas, and heating it beyond any earthly temperature. Something incredible happens. The energy becomes so intense, so wild, that it begins to break things apart. It shakes the very atoms themselves. It shakes them so violently that they begin to break. The electrons, those tiny, buzzing particles that orbit the atom's core, are shaken free. What is left is a shimmering, vibrant soup. A sea of positively charged cores and negatively charged electrons, all moving freely. They dance together, but they are no longer bound. They are a collective. A community of energy. This is plasma. It is not a gas. It is something altogether different. It is matter, set free from its usual rules. It is raw potential, glowing with energy. You have seen it many times. You have felt its warmth. The gentle, dancing flame of a candle is a tiny, earthly taste of plasma. The wick creates a vapor, and the heat of the fire tears the atoms apart. It creates a tiny, fleeting cloud of this fourth state. The majestic arc of lightning across a stormy sky is a great river of plasma. For a brilliant moment, it carves a path of superheated light through the air. But these are just glimpses. The true home of plasma is not here. It is out there. Every star you see in the night sky is a massive, beautiful sphere of plasma. Our sun is not a ball of fire, as we often imagine it. It is a ball of plasma. A swirling, churning ocean of this fourth state of being. It is the stuff of stars. It is their essence. Their soul. In fact, over 99% of all the visible matter in the universe is in this state. The galaxies, the nebulae, the great cosmic structures. They are all made of plasma. The solid ground beneath you, the water you drink, the air you breathe, these are the rare exceptions. The quiet, cool outliers. We live in the universe's quiet corner. Plasma is the universe's favorite way to be. It is the original state. The primal condition from which all else formed. And it is in this state, within this vibrant, energetic sea, that the universe's greatest magic trick occurs. It is here that simple atoms forget their independence. They are jostled and squeezed with such intimacy that they become something new. This act of creation, born from the heart of a plasma star, is the very reason we are here. And it is a process that sends its silent, ghostly evidence to us every single second, arriving from across the great void. As you rest here, in the quiet of your room, something truly miraculous is happening. It is happening right now. It has been happening every single second for your entire life. It is a gentle, cosmic rain. But this is not a rain of water. You cannot feel it on your skin. You cannot see it. It is a silent, invisible shower. It falls upon you, day and night. It passes through the roof above you. It passes through the air you breathe. It even passes, right this moment, through you. These are neutrinos. Tiny, gentle messengers from the heart of our sun. To understand them, imagine the core of the sun. That incredible, pressurized place we have been dreaming of. A place of such heat and such density that atoms are constantly embracing. They are fusing together, creating new light and new energy. This process, this solar alchemy, also creates these tiny particles. Neutrinos. They are so incredibly small. They have almost no mass at all. They are like ghosts. They do not carry an electric charge. This makes them shy. They hardly ever interact with anything. The moment they are born, in the sun's fiery core, they begin their journey. They fly outward, at a speed almost equal to light itself. They pass through the sun's dense layers, as if they were not even there. Just 8 minutes after they are created, they arrive here. They cross the vast, 93 million mile gulf of space. They reach our beautiful, blue planet. And they simply keep going. They pass through the ground beneath your home. They pass through your walls. They pass through your body, by the trillions, every single second. Right now, as you listen to this, countless billions of them are streaming through you. You are a ghost to them. They are ghosts to you. They are the whisper of the sun's fusion heart. A constant, quiet hum of creation. Your body does not feel them. Your skin does not sense their gentle touch. But powerful, sensitive detectors here on Earth can. They are buried deep underground, in quiet, dark places. They wait, patiently, to catch the rare neutrino that chooses to say hello. By catching these ghosts, we know. We have proof. The sun's engine is running. The great fusion dance is continuing, right on schedule. It is not a theory in a book. It is a verifiable fact, happening in real time. The light that left the sun 8 minutes ago now arrives. It warms your face on a bright day. But the neutrinos arriving now, they are the news from the sun's core from 8 minutes ago. They are the living report from the very center of the storm. This means you are connected to the sun, in a way far more intimate than just its light and warmth. You are constantly being woven through by its most fundamental particles. You are immersed in its silent, endless output. You are not just looking at the sun. You are participating in its existence. You are a part of its story, and it is a part of yours. This gentle, endless rain is a reminder. The universe's most powerful forces are not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes, they are quiet. They are subtle. They are a whisper that passes through everything, connecting all of us to the life of a star. And this whisper tells us that the sun's great power comes from a simple, yet profound, act. The act of bringing things together. Of convincing solitary particles to unite, and in doing so, to become something far greater than they were alone. It is an act of intimacy, and of force. An act we now quietly, humbly, seek to understand. And perhaps, one day, to gently replicate. For centuries, humanity has looked to the sun with wonder. We felt its warmth on our skin. We watched it govern the seasons, and the growth of all living things. We saw it as a distant god, a mysterious fire in the sky. But then, we began to listen. We learned its language. We discovered it was not a god, but a star. A giant, spinning sphere of plasma, powered by atoms coming together at its core. We learned that its light was a message. And its gentle rain of neutrinos was a constant whisper, telling us its secrets. And with that knowledge, a new dream was born. A quiet, profound, and beautiful dream. What if we could learn the sun's recipe? What if we could create that same process here, on Earth? Not a giant star, of course, but a tiny, miniature sun. A bottled star. Imagine a source of energy so clean, so powerful. It would use fuel drawn from water, abundant as the sea. It would create no smoke, no ash, no long-lasting waste. Its only byproduct would be a tiny amount of harmless helium. The same gas that fills birthday balloons. It would be the ultimate hearth. A gentle, endless flame. Kindled not by burning, but by merging. A fire of creation, not destruction. This is the dream of fusion. But to build a star on Earth, we face a beautiful challenge. A star is held together by its own immense gravity. It is a self-containing sphere. Its own weight creates the pressure and the heat needed to sustain its heart. We cannot create that much gravity. It is impossible. So, we must find another way. We must become clever container makers. How do you hold a star? You cannot use a jar of glass or a box of steel. The heart of a star is a whirlwind of plasma, hotter than the sun itself. It would vaporize any physical material it touched, in an instant. The answer is as delicate and as powerful as the star itself. You must build a bottle made of nothing. A container woven from pure force. Think of it like this. Imagine a tiny flame, a candle. If you try to hold it with your bare hands, you will be burned. But if you could cup your hands around it, without touching it, you could guide it. You could hold its light. Now, imagine your hands are not made of skin and bone, but of invisible, magnetic energy. This is the idea. To create a beautiful, invisible cage. A magnetic bottle. Inside this bottle of force, we would heat our tiny star. We would feed it its simple fuel. And we would hope that within this carefully crafted space, atoms would forget their loneliness. They would come together. They would fuse. And for a fleeting moment, we would have captured a piece of the sun's magic. We would have lit a tiny, private star right here on Earth. It is a dream of immense humility and immense ambition. It is not about conquering nature, but about learning from it. It is about listening to the universe's whispers and then whispering back. With a gentle, human-made light of our own. The path is long and the challenges are great. But the dream itself is a light that guides us. A promise of a future built on starlight. And to begin, we must learn the art of weaving with invisible threads. We must learn to build with the fabric of the universe itself. To construct a cage, not of bars, but of beautiful, curving force. A sanctuary for a sun. Imagine trying to hold a lightning bolt in your hands. You could not craft a box strong enough. You could not find a material that would not be instantly vaporized by its fierce, electric heart. The very idea seems impossible. Holding a star is 1,000,000 times harder. So, if we wish to cradle a piece of the sun, we must think differently. We must let go of the idea of building a physical wall. We must learn to build with something far more subtle and far more powerful. We must learn to weave with force. Think of the space around a magnet. You have felt its presence. When you push two magnets together and they resist, that space between them is alive with an invisible push. That is a magnetic field. A region of space where a magnetic force is felt. It is not a thing you can see or touch. But it is real. It is as real as the wind, which you cannot see but can feel on your skin and can see in the bending of trees. This force is our thread. Our building material. Now, imagine taking this thread and weaving with it. Not in a straight line, but in a curve. A beautiful, continuous loop. You weave it into the shape of a ring, a hollow circle of pure force. This is the beginning of our bottle. A magnetic field, shaped by human hands, into a container made of nothing but energy. But a simple ring is not enough. The plasma, our star stuff, is a slippery creature. It is made of charged particles. They are like tiny, frantic dancers. They will follow the lines of magnetic force, but they can also slide along them. They would quickly slide off the ends of our simple ring and escape. So, we must weave a better cage. A cage with no doors and no ends. We do this by adding another thread. We twist the magnetic field. We give it a corkscrew shape, a gentle spiral. We turn our simple ring into a twisted ring. Now, the magnetic lines are no longer just circles. They are helices. They spiral around and around, forever. For a particle following this line, there is no end. No place to slide off. It is trapped on an endless, looping path. A merry-go-round that never stops. It is a bottle, woven from an invisible, shimmering web of force. The particles of plasma are now like beads on an endless, twisted wire. They can move freely along the wire, but they cannot leave it. They are caged, but not crushed. They are held, without being touched. This is the principle of the magnetic confinement bottle. It is how we hope to hold our tiny, earthbound star. Creating this bottle is an act of profound delicacy. It requires immense, powerful electromagnets, cooled to temperatures near absolute zero. They must be perfectly shaped, perfectly aligned. The currents flowing through them must be precisely controlled. It is like trying to compose a symphony, where every note is a pulse of invisible energy. Every instrument must be in perfect tune and perfect time. The goal is to create a space where the plasma can be perfectly suspended. Where it floats, untouched, in the center of the chamber. A place where it can be heated to incredible temperatures and squeezed by these magnetic hands until it is ready to perform its magic. This invisible cage is a testament to our creativity. It shows that to solve a cosmic problem, we must sometimes think in cosmic terms. We must move beyond stone and steel. We must learn to see the invisible forces that sculpt the universe, and then, gently, learn to sculpt with them ourselves. We are not just builders anymore. We are weavers of reality. We are artists, painting with forces instead of colors. Our canvas is emptiness, and our brush is magnetism. And if we weave our cage well enough, if we create a sanctuary of perfect force, then we can invite the star stuff in. We can ask it to dance. And we can hope that in that dance, in that beautiful, contained spin, it will find the intimacy it needs to finally, gently, transform. But to ask for that transformation, we must first create the right conditions. We must learn the delicate art of persuasion, of convincing shy atoms to forget their fear, and to come together in a fiery and beautiful embrace. To light a star, you must first understand its heart. The core of the sun is not a place of chaos. It is a place of profound and purposeful pressure. We often think of fire as needing only heat. A spark, a match, a flame. But the sun's fire is different. It is a fire of squeezing. A fire of intimacy. Imagine a great crowd of people in a vast, open field. They can move freely. They can keep their distance. They are individuals, separate and alone. Now, imagine that same crowd being gently, but firmly, pressed into a small room. The walls slowly close in. The space between each person shrinks. Shoulders brush. The air grows warm from collective breath. A quiet energy builds. This is what gravity does in the heart of a star. It is the great press. The endless squeeze. Deep within the sun, atoms are not simply hot. They are crowded. They are pressed together by the incredible weight of the star itself. All the layers above, pushing down. This creates an immense pressure. A desperate, beautiful intimacy. The atoms are hydrogen. They are the simplest and shyest of atoms. Each one has a positively charged core. And like magnets turned the wrong way, positive charges repel each other. They want to be alone. They are afraid to touch. This fear is called the Coulomb barrier. It is a natural force field that keeps them apart. To create fusion, we must help them overcome this fear. We must convince them to move close enough to touch. Closer than they have ever been. How do we do this? We make them move incredibly fast. We give them so much energy, so much heat, that they vibrate with a frantic intensity. They zip around their crowded space. They crash into one another, again and again. But heat alone is not always enough. This is where pressure comes in. The pressure of gravity, that great squeeze, ensures they cannot escape these collisions. It crowds them together. It makes every encounter more likely. It turns that small, hot room into a dance floor with no exits. The combination is everything. Extreme heat gives them the speed. Extreme pressure ensures they meet. And at a certain point, a magic point, something changes. The atoms are moving so fast and are pressed so close together that something extraordinary happens. They get so near that a new, much stronger force takes over. The nuclear force. It is a force that only works at tiny, tiny distances. A force of intimacy. It is stronger than their fear. It pulls them the final, infinitesimal distance together. In that moment, they touch. They merge. They fuse. They forget they were ever two separate beings. They become one. A new, heavier atom. Helium. And in that merging, in that transformation, a little bit of their mass is released. It is converted into pure energy. A glittering spark of starlight is born. This is the fire. This is the glow. This moment, this point of no return, is the ignition point. It is not an explosion. It is a quiet, profound surrender. A letting go of individuality for the creation of something new and radiant. It is the universe's way of turning push into pull. Of turning fear into embrace. On Earth, we cannot use gravity's immense weight to create this pressure. So, we must find other ways to create that crowd, that squeeze. We must become the architects of intimacy for atoms. We must design a dance where collision is not just possible, but inevitable. We must learn to persuade the shyest things in the universe to forget their fear, and to finally, gently, touch. And we must build a home safe enough, and strong enough, to hold that beautiful, fragile embrace. To cradle a star, you must build a special kind of home. A sanctuary. It cannot be a box, or a sphere. It must be a shape that understands the star's restless, spinning nature. It must be a ring. Imagine a giant, metal donut. It is not solid, but hollow. Its walls are thick and strong. They are a fortress. This is a tokamak. A name from a language of science and dreams. It is a temple built for a single, beautiful purpose. Inside this hollow ring, a vacuum is created. Every bit of air is pumped out. It is a space of nothingness. A clean, empty slate, waiting for its artist. Now, the artists go to work. They are invisible. They are magnetic fields. From great coils of wire, wound around the metal ring, a current flows. This current creates a powerful, magnetic field. It is a field of pure force. It weaves itself through the empty chamber, like an invisible loom. This force is the bottle. The invisible cage. Into this cage, a tiny amount of fuel is released. Just a wisp of gas. Hydrogen atoms, full of potential. Then, a great surge of energy flows through the center of the ring. It is like a lightning bolt. This energy heats the gas. Instantly, it transforms. It becomes something else. It becomes plasma. The fourth state of being. The stuff of stars. This plasma is incredibly hot. Unimaginably hot. Millions of degrees. It is a tiny fragment of the sun's heart, now here on Earth. If it touched the walls of its metal home, it would vanish in a flash. It would be gone. The dream would end. But it does not touch the walls. The invisible magnetic cage holds it. It cradles the plasma, without ever making contact. The magnetic fields act like gentle, yet firm, hands. They guide the plasma. They shape it. They convince it to spin. What forms inside the ring is not a chaotic explosion. It is a dance. A silent, swirling ballet. The plasma spins and spins around the hollow ring. It moves along the curving lines of magnetic force. It becomes a continuous, flowing loop. A river of fire, contained within banks of nothing but light and energy. It is a whirlwind. A contained inferno. A glowing, donut-shaped halo of pure potential. There is no sound. No roar of flames. Just the hum of machines and the silent, majestic spin of a man-made star. It is both violent and peaceful. A storm, perfectly controlled. Scientists watch this dance through thick windows. They see the plasma glow with an unearthly light. It can be white, blue, or a brilliant magenta. It shimmers and pulses like a living thing. They are not just watching light. They are watching atoms being squeezed. They are watching them move at incredible speeds. They are hoping that in that beautiful, spinning dance, some of those atoms will overcome their fear. They will move close enough to touch. To fuse. For a fleeting moment, they will create a spark of starlight right here inside the ring. The tokamak is our best answer to the question of a bottle. It is our most elegant design for a star's home. It is the closest we have ever come to holding a piece of the sun. It is a machine of immense power, performing a task of immense delicacy. It is a testament to our desire to learn, to create, to understand the music of the universe. And as this beautiful, silent dance continues inside its magnetic cage, it asks a new question of us. It asks what we must build, not to contain the star, but to survive its presence. To gather its light, and to withstand its gentle, but immense, power. To invite a star into your home, you must prepare for your guest. You cannot use ordinary things. The furniture of our daily world would vanish in an instant, in the presence of such a visitor. So, we must become inventors. We must dream new materials into being. We must build a world of subtle miracles to safely cradle one grand miracle. First, we must consider the walls of the cage itself. The magnetic field weaves its invisible web, but the physical vessel must still be there. It must hold the vacuum. It must hold the magnets. And sometimes, the plasma touches. It can spark and flare. It can send a shiver of immense energy, a burst of heat, towards the walls. What material can withstand this? Not steel. Not any common metal. They would weaken. They would warp. They would remember the fury, and wear it as a scar. So, we create new metals. Special alloys. Metals that can be heated to redness, and then cool, and return to their perfect shape. As if nothing happened. They are called shape memory alloys. They are like a willow tree in a storm. They bend. They yield. They feel the force of the wind. But when the storm passes, they straighten again. They remember who they are. They forget the fury. These metals line the inner chamber. They are the last line of defense. A resilient skin waiting patiently behind the invisible magnetic shield. But the walls are only the beginning. For our star to live, it must eat. It needs fuel. Its favorite food is a heavy form of hydrogen called deuterium and tritium. Deuterium can be found in seawater. It is abundant. But tritium is rare. It is fleeting. It decays over time. So, we must become farmers. We must grow our own fuel inside the machine itself. This is where the blanket comes in. Imagine wrapping the entire fusion chamber in a thick, cozy blanket. This is no ordinary blanket. It is a living, breathing part of the machine. Inside this blanket, we place a metal called lithium. When our tiny star shines, it gives off more than just light. It sprays out neutrons. Tiny, neutral particles, full of energy. These neutrons fly out, and they are caught by the blanket. They sink into the lithium. And when a neutron meets a lithium atom, something magical happens. A reaction occurs. The lithium transforms, and in doing so, it creates a new atom of tritium. The very fuel our star needs to eat. The blanket breathes in the ashes of the reaction, the spent neutrons. And it breathes out new fuel. It is a garden, growing sustenance from the star's own light. A perfect, closed loop. A circle of life, for a machine. Every part of this system must be designed with this care. The magnets must be supercooled to become superconductors. They need systems colder than deep space, sitting beside a star core's heat. The diagnostics, the eyes that watch the plasma, must see the unseen. They use lasers and microwaves to take the temperature of a thing that would melt any thermometer. We are building a world of impossible contrasts. Extreme cold next to extreme heat. Immense force wielded with immense delicacy. Destruction harnessed for creation. It is a world built of subtle miracles. Each one a triumph of patience and imagination. Each one an answer to a question the universe asked us. We are showing that we listened. We are not trying to dominate nature with brute force. We are trying to cooperate with it. To understand its rules so deeply that we can gently guide its most powerful energy into a safe and generous form. We are building a nest. A complex, beautiful, technological nest. We are lining it with materials that remember and blankets that breathe. We are tuning it with the precision of a watchmaker. All of it for a guest we hope will someday arrive. A flicker of starlight that will last for a few precious seconds. A proof that we learn to build a home, not just for ourselves, but for a piece of the cosmos. And in building this home, in solving these puzzles of matter and force, we are answering a deeper question. A question not of how, but of why. We are writing our answer not in words, but in the silent, resilient language of invented things. A language that speaks of care for a future we may never see, but believe in all the same. After all this talk of stars, and cages, and impossible heat, a quiet question may arise in your mind. It is a simple question, but a deep one. A question that lies beneath the mathematics and the machinery. Why? Why go to such lengths? Why spend generations and great effort to chase a tiny, bottled star? The answer begins with power, yes. But it does not end there. Imagine a source of energy so profound. Its fuel is drawn from water, from the sea itself. More abundant than all the fossil fuels buried in the earth. It creates no choking smoke. No blanket of carbon to warm the atmosphere. No long-lived radioactive waste. It offers a promise of clean, safe, limitless power. It is a gift of light for all the children of tomorrow. But this dream is about more than watts and joules. It is about more than replacing one power plant with another. It is a legacy. It is one of the greatest scientific and engineering challenges we have ever faced. To solve it, we must learn. We must discover new things about our universe. We must push the boundaries of physics, of materials, of magnetism. In trying to create a star, we come to understand the real ones. We read the universe's deepest recipes, written in the language of fire. We learn how to speak them. This pursuit, this beautiful struggle, is an offering. It is a statement about who we are, and who we wish to be. It says that we are not just consumers of the world. We are students of it. We are not content to simply burn what we find. We seek to understand the source of all burning. We look at the sun, not with envy, but with a desire to learn its art. This quest is a story. A story we tell ourselves about curiosity and hope. It is a narrative of cooperation, where nations work together on a puzzle too large for any one people to solve. It is a poem written in mathematics and metal. It is a way of reaching toward the light, in every sense of the word. It answers a deep, human need. The need to build, to create, to strive for something better. To look at the darkness, and to decide to make a light. Not just a campfire, but a steady, enduring light. A light that does not flicker, and will not go out. It is a way of planting a tree whose shade we may never sit under. But we plant it anyway. For the simple, profound belief that the future deserves shade and light. This dream of a tiny star is, perhaps, the most human of dreams. It is ambitious and humble, all at once. We seek to replicate the power of a sun, while knowing we will never truly hold its majesty. We build a complex machine, to perform an act of stunning simplicity. We reach for the cosmos, to better care for our own planet. So, the question of why is answered not with a single fact, but with a feeling. It is a feeling of responsibility, of wonder, of a gentle, persistent hope that we can learn to live in harmony with the universe's most powerful forces. That we can use them to nurture, rather than to destroy. It is the story of a species growing up. Learning to use matches, then candles, then light bulbs. And now, looking gently to the sky, and whispering, "Teach us." And as we learn, we must also build. Not just with ideas, but with our hands. We must invent new things to meet this star. To welcome it, and to gather its gentle, generous light. As we near the end of our journey, a gentle truth emerges. It is a truth not of failure, but of perspective. A reshaping of the dream we began with. We may never, truly, create a star on Earth. We will not form a sphere of plasma, held together by its own gravity, burning for billions of years. That is the work of galaxies, of cosmic forces on a scale we can admire, but not replicate. Our ambition is both grander, and more humble. Our goal is not to birth a self-sustaining sun. Our goal is to create a spark. A brief, glorious echo of a star. A flame that lasts for a few precious seconds. Imagine lighting a single match in a vast, dark cathedral. For that moment, light flares. Shadows dance. The darkness is not defeated, but it is transformed. It is shown to be not empty, but full of potential. Our goal is to light that match. Inside the tokamaks chamber, we are not trying to build a sun. We are trying to create the conditions where a sun-like reaction can occur. We heat the plasma. We squeeze it with magnetic hands. We feed it its fuel. And we hope. We hope that for 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds, atoms will fuse. They will forget their loneliness. They will come together. And in that coming together, they will release a flash of energy. A spark of pure starlight. This spark is not a star. But it is a miracle. It is a flame that we tend with infinite care. A flame that requires the most complex machine humanity has ever conceived, just to flicker for a moment. It is a testament to our patience, and to our understanding. It is a proof. A proof that we read the universe's recipe correctly. That we understood the ingredients, and the instructions. That we learned how to whisper to atoms in a language they understand. The value is not in the duration of the flame. The value is in the lighting of it. A single, successful fusion reaction here on Earth would be one of humanity's greatest achievements. not because it solves our energy needs in that instant, but because it shows us the path. It validates the dream. It tells every weaver of magnetic cages, every grower of tritium fuel, every shaper of memory metal, that their subtle miracle was part of a greater whole. It turns the if into a when. This spark is a beacon. It does not light our cities. It lights our minds. It illuminates the possibility of a future no longer bound by scarce fuel, or by the slow change of a warming world. It is a promise, made tangible. So, we adjust our dream. We are not cosmic giants, birthing new suns. We are gardeners, tending the most delicate of flowers. We are students, who have studied for a lifetime, and are now ready to take a single, perfect note on a cosmic instrument. The dream is no less beautiful for being smaller. In fact, it is more beautiful. It is more human. It is about the striving, the learning, the beautiful, collective effort to reach for something just beyond our grasp. And if we can create that spark, if we can prove that we can gently coax a star's fire into being, even for a moment, then we have done enough. We have joined the cosmic conversation. We have shown that we understand the most fundamental process of the universe. We have taken our place, not as masters of nature, but as its attentive students. And in the glow of that hard-won spark, we see reflected not a full sun, but our own hopeful, curious, and persevering faces. And that reflection makes us wonder about the legacy of such a spark. Not just the light it gives, but the future it illuminates, and the story it tells about who we are, and who we wish to become. So, we arrive at last, at the question that began our journey. A question that has echoed through decades, through laboratories, and through the quiet minds of dreamers. Could we ever truly create a star on Earth? The answer, perhaps, is not a simple yes or no. It is not a switch to be flipped. It is a path to be walked. A journey. Imagine a great cathedral, built over centuries. No single mason who laid the first stone ever saw the finished spire reach for the sky. Yet, they laid the stone. They did their part. They trusted in the dream of the architects, and in the hands of those who would come after. The quest for a star is like that. It is a cathedral of human curiosity. Each scientist, each engineer, each thinker lays a stone. They add a piece to the foundation of understanding. They may not see the spire reach the heavens in their lifetime. But they build anyway. We may never create a self-sustaining star, a perfect miniature sun that burns on its own. The forces of nature, the immense pressures, are so grand. They are the domain of galaxies, not of machines. But we can create a spark. A glorious, fleeting echo of a star. We can, for a few precious seconds, convince atoms to fuse. We can create a plasma hotter than the sun's core. We can hold it, dancing in a magnetic bottle of our own design. We can harvest a flicker of its light. And in that flicker, we find our victory. The triumph is not in replicating the universe. The triumph is in the trying. In the learning. In the beautiful, stubborn refusal to accept that something is impossible without first understanding it. This long endeavor is a generations-long lullaby. It is a song of curiosity passed from one mind to the next. A melody of wonder that never fades. It is a story we tell about a species that looked up at the heavens and instead of feeling small, felt inspired. We saw the fire that forged us, and we whispered, we want to learn how that is done. And in that effort, we have already discovered so much. We have learned to read the messages sent by neutrinos. We have learned to weave cages from magnetic force. We have learned to create and control the fourth state of matter. We have invented new metals, new technologies, new ways of seeing. We have found a light, but it is not just the light from fused atoms. It is our own light. It is the light of collaboration, shining across borders. It is the light of patience, burning for decades. It is the light of imagination, seeing a star where there is only a vacuum chamber. It is a humble light, but it is bright. It is a human light. It is the reflection of our best selves, seen in the void of the unknown. We set out to hold a piece of the sun. And along the way, we discovered that the sun's greatest gift was not its light or its heat. It was the inspiration it provided. The challenge. The beautiful, impossible question that pulled us forward. We are made of stardust, and we are driven by starlight. We are the universe, awakening to itself, and trying to understand its own reflection. So, as you drift toward sleep, remember this. The dream of an earthbound star is not a failure if it is never fully realized. It is a success because it is dreamed of at all. It is a testament to a hope that reaches far beyond our own lives, into a future we are gently helping to build. And in that future, the light we truly create may not be a star's light, but our own. A steady, enduring glow of understanding and of care for this fragile, precious world we call home. The journey continues, not with a roar, but with a whisper. A whisper of what we might yet become, cradled in the vast, silent, and beautiful cosmos.